Championship against Julius Francis. That fight penciled in for July, so this would be his warm-up for that against this rather blubbery looking Argentinian, Juan Antonio Diaz, who's 35 and has only fought once in the last 3 years. Not a time to go and make the coffee, I would suggest.
I wouldn't think so. And you would expect it with a bigger fight coming up that he'd be looking to try and get some rounds under his belt, Williams. Well, I'm not sure the Argentinian will accommodate him here.
Williams, who's won 9 times inside 2 rounds, 13-0 so far, Danny Williams, including a victory, a good one too, over Derek Amos in 4 rounds at the legendary Madison Square Garden in New York. He was deserted at the time. It was the first fight on the bill, but let's not spoil the story. Diaz in the white trunks, beaten in 3 rounds by Herbie Hyde 5 years ago, in 6 by the useful Larry Donald, and beaten on points by the Brazilian Adelson Rodriguez, who was useful once upon a time, a long time ago. Right hand from Williams, who's coming under 18 stone here because of the hotter weather. He's surprisingly athletic, really, at the weight, moves well, looks like a good fighter, doing nothing wrong so far, does suffer a lot of nerves and tension, but his confidence growing all the time. He could be one of the very best that we've produced in the modern era. Very sharp right hand from Williams. 24, he is from Brixton, and putting some real power into some of these shots by the look of it.
Yes, he does look a very natural boxer, putting his shots together very well. Good array of punches, the jab, an excellent straight jab, and then he mixes up well, going to body and head.
Left hook was a bit low from Danny Williams.
Well, I'm surprised he missed with the body shot, because there's certainly plenty to aim at.
Williams from a tough area. He says he's lost 4 of his friends to shootings, stabbings and suicides in the Brixton area. He says he's fighting partly to give that area a better name. There are a lot of decent folk there, he says. Sees himself as something of an ambassador. Religious young man. Prays in the dressing room before he comes out to fight. Some of his opponents ought to do the same, the way he's been performing in some of his contests.
He's doing nothing wrong at all in this first round, demonstrating a good jab, looking to try and land the left hook to the stomach, bring the hands down, just try and get through to Diaz.
Well, all Williams in the opening round.
If I put my savings account...
Welcome back. Jimmy Tibbs, Frank Black working the corner with Danny Williams, who very dominant in that opening round. That was a good right hand, wasn't it?
Yes, he put some good punches together in the opening round. All coming off an excellent jab. Yeah, solid right hand. Diaz did well to take that.
Danny Williams in the blue trunks. One of a few prospects we have around in the British heavyweight division. Others like Wayne Llewellyn, Michael Sprott, Pele Reid, Matt Ellis. Be interesting when they get round to fighting each other, which may be sometime not very soon. Well, Diaz is in no kind of shape here, is he?
No, he's not. It's what he's really going to bring to the fight. I don't think he can bring a great deal, and Williams really has just got to try and open him up as quick as he can and get him out of there.
He's over 2 stone heavier, Diaz, than when he fought Herbie Hyde, you know. That was 5 years ago. And in January, he was something like a stone and a couple of pounds lighter than this. So what does that tell you? That he hasn't prepared too meticulously for this?
No, I wouldn't think he's been in training camp for this one.
But he may be durable.
Yes, maybe I think he'll be looking to just try and fiddle through this fight, and really it's a test for Williams to try and use his skills, get through the guard, and then start landing big punches.
And face it, Glenn, there have been one or two imports, dodgy imports we've had in this country, who would have hit the canvas and not got up again after that right hand in the first round. They'd have taken that as a convenient out.
That's right, that left hook there was a good one. Williams showing some good skills, very, very fast for a big man.
Diaz not doing much himself. Williams can afford to just take his time and look for openings, really, because the Argentinian is barely throwing a punch. Well, not many that matter anyway. I remember Frank Bruno fighting an Argentinian called Juan Antonio Figueroa, who we were told was the Argentinian heavyweight champion. We later discovered there were 3 active heavyweights in Argentina at the time.
These are solid shots going in from Williams, just taking his time, just looking for the right opportunity to let them go, but let them go with flair and speed.
I think it's fair to say that Argentina isn't known for its crop of heavyweights, is it?
But I think that the quality is really not Williams' concern. He's just got to try and do his job and solve the problems and get the man out the way as quick as possible.
Well, Danny Williams dominating so far, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to further his reputation much here tonight, is he?
I don't think so. I think really if he gets a few rounds, that'll be good enough. But just shown by punches landing 48, just 8 coming back from Diaz. He's really not doing anything at all. And we need to see what Danny Williams is like. We know what he's like on the front foot. I think the test is what he's going to be like when he's under pressure himself.
Diaz's official record, by the way, 12 wins against 5 defeats. He won and lost Argentinian heavyweight championship fights, and he won something called the Latin American title. Well, Diaz at least showing some durability here. What we haven't seen from Williams yet is what he's like when it gets to a really tough battle, if he's backed up, how he copes with pressure, how his chin holds up, that kind of thing. We'll find out soon enough if he's going to fight Julius Francis in a British heavyweight championship fight next. That might be quite interesting. They've sparred a lot together, you know.
Yes, I think that is an interesting fight for Williams to see how good he really is.
Williams has never been beyond 4 rounds. Never been required to yet.
Williams still just taking his time, picking his punches, and I think really with an opponent like this, he could really just go for it. I think he's just got to, that's the way to get fighters like this out of the way, just throw lots of shots.
Williams is always saying that the public have never seen the best of him yet. He says he's much better in the gym, but he'll need to change that habit.
Well, I think normally with fighters, the better the opponent, the better you rise to meet those challenges. And you know, hopefully there's some good fights out there for Williams, and we'll really see him in some of them.
3-punch combination there. The Argentinian getting his gloves up the right to the top of the head has befuddled him and put him down. Breakthrough for Williams in the third. Counts at 7, 8. I'm not sure he's going to get out. No, he's had enough. It's over. Counted out in the third round. He does the job as quickly as Herbie Hyde did 5 years ago, and quicker than Larry Donald did it. Well, it was a good cluster of punches from Williams in the end, ending with a right hand which landed around the top of the forehead somewhere.
Yes, it's really what I thought Williams had to do to end this fight, and I think he could have done it in the first round. I thought the first time he really let the punches go in a big cluster was when he would have Diaz in trouble, and it came with something like a 6 or 7 punch combination, and the final right hand just seemed to hit him high on the head. The first one was a good one. Diaz trying to fight back at this point, but another good right hand from Williams just puts pay to that.
14-0 now for Danny Williams. The big test just ahead of him now, but I must say, as ambitious matches go, this was kind of like Brazil warming up for the World Cup against Brighton and Hove Albion, wasn't it, really?
That's right. It wasn't really any sort of test for him, but at this point he just needs, you know, he's still young, still developing. He needs confidence, just put his punches together, get the victories, and as we say, he'd be in a much more meaningful fight with Julius Francis.
Ladies and gentlemen, Juan Antonio Diaz failed to beat the referee's count after 2 minutes, 10 seconds of the third round. The winner, and still undefeated, Danny Williams. And a show of appreciation, please, for a very game opponent, Juan Antonio Diaz.
Well, a comfortable enough victory, as was expected, although in the end, Barry, the Argentinian was a little more durable than we anticipated.
No, I thought he'd done very well, Williams. He boxed exceptionally well, and I'm looking forward to looking back on some of his stuff.
As Ian Dart said, it was a bit like warming up for the World Cup by playing against Brighton. The big business is still to come. Let's have a word with Danny Williams.
Danny, well done. 14 straight wins. Your thoughts on that fight?
First of all, praise is due to the Most High, because I can't do nothing without his help. And well done to Spencer Oliver for getting through what he's been through. Yeah, it was all right fight. Just using my jab a bit and getting the rounds out, because I got Julius in sometime in July.
Julius Francis, yes, we'll talk about that in a moment. Diaz wasn't the greatest opponent, was he, being quite honest about it?
He wasn't, but he was very crafty. He's been around for years, you know, so he knew the ring. He's been around with, he sparred with Herbie Hyde and that, so he knows what he's doing, you know what I mean?
I think he fought Herbie Hyde, and you did the job in exactly the same time. 3 rounds, that looks okay on the record, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all right. I thought I'd have done it earlier, but just took me a few rounds to get warmed up and get into work.
Tell us about the Julius Francis fight for the British Heavyweight Championship. That's exciting. You two have sparred together a lot.
Yeah, I've known Julius for 3 years, well, since amateurs, and we've always sparring together, you know what I mean? And he's such a good friend, but we got to do business, you know what I mean? Just got to go to war.
What happens in the sparring, or is that a secret?
I'm not going to say.
But you're confident of winning, yeah?
I'm very confident. If I wasn't, I wouldn't fight him.
Are you excited now because you've had the education and now the big things are starting to happen for you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm very excited. I just want to get that title around my waist, and then, you know what I mean? Then I'll be real happy.
Have all those nerves gone now?
Yeah, it's getting better and better. It's getting better and better. Before I couldn't eat for a couple of days before the fight, but now it's getting better.
Go and have a good meal now.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, well done, Danny.
Thank you.